before, and my project is the map bag, that one right there. My starter project was this dinky little laser target. I've never actually tested it with a laser, but I know that when it's light outside, the lights turn on. And if you turn off the lights, can someone turn off the lights?
No, just one behind you. There we go.
The lights go off.
Except when you point it towards the window, what happens?
But yeah, if you point towards the window.
You gotta see it. Show them over here.
Yeah. Yeah, laser target.
So what is it? How does it work?
So basically it takes this, there's a photoresistor called the CDS cell right here, and it takes light input, and it basically channels through all of these LEDs, channels electricity, and there are a couple of diodes and resistors to make sure that it doesn't short circuit and there's an on and off switch. My map bag should be completed in a day or two. It's taken a lot of work, and I thought I would have it done by today, but it's almost done, and I haven't been slacking off. It's a lot of work. So basically the components of the map bag are, it has a lily pad Arduino here.
Wait, overview.
Oh, what does it do? Okay, the map bag, what it does is it basically takes your location with the GPS, and depending on your heading to a destination, it vibrates these 8 vibration motors on the back of the bag. So like if you were wearing the bag, it would vibrate right if your destination was on the right, or it would vibrate on the top if your destination was forward, or back, you know, depends. And along with those 8 vibration motors, there is the GPS here, and a LilyPad Arduino, which is like a microcontroller to basically run the show. There's a little LED display to choose from 10 pre-programmed destinations, and this is a little voltage regulator to make sure you don't light it on fire like I almost did. I'm serious, it almost lit on fire. Yeah, that's basically it. There are a bunch of wires here. It looks really complicated, but it's not. It's just wires from one location to the other. Yeah, that's it.
Good job. After each presentation, we're going to have questions. If you guys have any questions for Al?
Who has questions?
Yeah, so he uses for, you know, you don't even have to look, you just can feel it. You could be walking, like orienteering, you could kind of like use it for orienteering and,
Yeah.
you know, things like that.
Yeah.
Did you have any specific use for it or user requirement, functional requirements for it, like before you started?
As far as like use and functions are concerned, the guy who originally created the map bag, he lives in Chicago, and apparently he really likes biking, so he used to bike around Chicago, and he used to get caught up in this monotony of always going in the same direction when he goes to work. So he decided to, he's a photography major, but I don't know how he got into this, but he decided to make a bag to, I don't know, kind of help him re-experience the city. And so nowadays when he goes to work, instead of just going in the same direction, he can maybe explore, go to new places, but still not get lost, because that happens a lot. You don't want to get lost when you're exploring. So yeah, that was basically his purpose in the bag. As far as my own functions, I really don't like messenger bags. I don't know why I chose this project. Yeah, I don't like biking either. But it's a cool, it's a really cool idea, and I've really grown really fond of this idea, and I don't know, maybe I might use this bag actually. I don't know, it's, for me, it might change my way of thinking. Any more questions?
How do you input the where you want to go?
There's a in the code, like you'd have to have a computer to do it. It was a real stumbling block for me because initially, with the original creator's project, he used an iPhone, a jailbroken iPhone, to basically just input the code into the iPhone and then like hook it up to the project. And I kind of tried to do that, but the iOS that an iPod that I was using was on is not jailbreakable, and I tried to jailbreak it. I got like sent to all these like Russian survey websites, and eventually it caused my computer to crash. It just sucked. So that idea was out of the door, and I decided to just do this kind of simple little LED and 3-button setup where, so if I turn it on, okay, it's on. So it's right now it's on 0. So if you press up, it'll go up a couple numbers. I still have to kind of work on this to make sure it goes slower, but it goes up or down. And if you press this button, it'll enter, and they'll start vibrating on the back. But I kind of have to work that out.
So what do the numbers correspond to?
Each number corresponds to a location that you. Okay, so each number corresponds to a location that you pre-programmed into the code. So the display goes from 0 to 9, so that's 10 destinations. So each number corresponds to a destination. It's on a list that I have. I didn't bring the list, but most of the locations are basically my house here. After that, I kind of ran out of ideas. I decided to like put in like San Francisco City Hall, and then I put in my favorite Mexican place, and so forth. Yeah. So I guess maybe you don't need an iPhone if you're only going to go to 3 places. Yeah. So yeah.
Can you talk about your challenges which you faced and how did you overcome those challenges? And what did you learn from them?
As far as challenges, there's that iPhone thing, which would have been awesome if it worked, but it didn't. And other things are just, I didn't know how to sew. I had to learn how to sew, which was remarkably easy, seeing as like you just put it through and then put it back. I didn't think that's how you did it. I thought it was like, ooh. It's magic. And then I thought it would look a little cooler than this. I didn't think it would look kind of like homemade, but that's okay. I think it like describes how hard I worked. Also, what was hard was learning how to solder. Soldering is pretty hard, especially when you're like working on a joint like all the way inside this pocket, like literally all the way down there, past all these things, and you're trying just to like put some solder on so that it sticks, but then it like comes off, and you're basically like throwing yourself on the table, like why doesn't this work? And it's really, really frustrating, but you get over it. Also today, actually, I thought I would be able to finish the project, but I don't know why they created this product, but it's something called conductive thread, and basically I thought it would be useful to me since I didn't know what it was, but apparently all it does, it acts like regular thread, except when it's touching a joint, it throws all the electricity out of whack, and it was totally screwing up my project, and I didn't know what was happening, and I spent actually 2 hours looking at it with Michael over there, and it was terrible. It sucked. And then finally I realized it was this little piece of thread like hanging out and touching my wire, and I was like, what the heck? And I just put this tape there, and that problem was solved, but it was really frustrating. Any more questions?